Hey everybody, welcome. So I just figured today I would just talk without a script or without an agenda. And as I was setting up to film this, some guy over there was using a leaf blower to clear his yard, and aircraft kept going over one after another. So I had to sit for quite a while until I got a little bit of silence, a little bit of peace. But while I was sitting there thinking, I wanted to talk about expectations. So if I had come here today expecting it to be completely peaceful and completely calm and relaxing, then I would have been upset with the leaf blower and the jets flying over. And there's actually another jet going over right now. All of these things are out of my control. But having an expectation that it was going to be really calm, my mind would start to say things like, oh my God, why is that guy, using his leaf blower right now? Why couldn't he have done it later? Or why is he doing that to me? And the reality is that nobody is doing anything to you. If I get upset with the leaf blower, the only thing that's happening is that my mind is telling me a story, and I am basically listening to that story. And it causes so much drama and unhappiness when people start to listen to the story in their head about how it should have been a certain way, but in reality it was completely different. By being present and enjoying the experience that you're having no matter what. So right now, I'm not sure if the microphone will pick it up, but there's a big jet flying right overhead again, and it's actually pretty noisy. I could be really spoiling my day right now if I listen to the story in my head saying how it should be quiet, the environment should be a certain way, when in reality it isn't. But if I just sit and I listen, the aircraft is part of the environment. I came here today because it's just so gorgeous and so beautiful. And there's a beautiful little river right at the side of me, which has just such a gentle sound. It's so relaxing and calming. And that's basically why I came here, because I wanted to experience that. But at the same time, if I'm fully present, I can actually incorporate the sound of the plane or the sound of the leaf blower or the lawnmower into the environment. It's no different, the sound of the river versus the sound of the plane. They are literally all just noise, and they create the landscape I'm in right now. You might say, well, nature is more inherently peaceful, but you know what? I live in New Jersey. I can never get away from cars or planes, and apparently leaf blowers too. But I could really spoil my day if I got hung up on how they're doing that to me or the planes are so inconvenient. That's just a conversation in my head. And the only person that it affects is me. So usually that kind of energy is very negative when I start criticizing or if I start expecting things to be different than how they are. It kind of creates a negative environment for your body. You're producing small amounts of cortisol and maybe even adrenaline if you start to get very frustrated with the guy with the leaf blower. You see how some people react and they get angry and start waving their fists and yelling. But the only person that really affects is you internally. You're basically putting your body into a very harmful and damaging state. It's kind of getting ready for that fight or flight scenario when I could literally just drop the conversation in my head completely and feel the peace and calm that is always present. And I think maybe people are too far removed from it. But if you meditate and you actually experience that silence and the peacefulness, and you feel the wonderful kind of loving energy that fills your body, then when you're in a situation where you might normally get upset, it's actually a little bit more difficult to get upset because your body is just filled with this natural kind of calm and peacefulness. And when you do get upset, you notice the harmfulness of the story that the mind is telling you. You notice it more. It becomes so much more apparent. When you get a little shot of adrenaline, it's actually very painful. And you can kind of feel that flowing through your whole system, and you can kind of feel the damage that it's doing. So, why would you want to put yourself in that position? Just relax, be calm, whatever is going on in the environment is going on in the environment. You know, the leaf blower is the leaf blower. The guy didn't look at me and say, oh, I'm going to turn on my leaf blower because I see a guy trying to make a video. No, he put it on because he needed to clean his yard, and this might be the only time that he has to do that. So me getting upset with him doesn't do me any good. And if I got to the point where I walked up the hill and yelled at him and said, you know, I'm trying to make a video, can you be quiet? Then that would ruin his day too. And he might get very defensive and combative, and, you know, and before we know it, we're both in a very sort of negative space. But the leaf blower is part of the reality. And there he goes again, actually. I don't know if you can hear that on the audio. But it is just the nature, you know, accept what is. If you have expectations of things being a certain way, then when they don't turn out that way, if you accept that alternative, then again, there's no drama. It's only when we hang on to our expectations that, you know, we cause ourselves stress, and, you know, the mind starts telling us stories, and you get that drama. So I can actually sit here and enjoy the leaf blower almost as much as I can the, you know, the stream. Now, obviously, my expectation was that I would come here and it would be perfectly calm. I'd hear birds, I'd hear the stream, I'd hear the leaves rustling in the trees. That's what I wanted. But I'm not going to get upset with leaf blower guy either. You know, I can kind of enjoy that too. It's all part of the experience. And that's one thing you'll learn when you meditate a lot, just kind of letting things go. And you'll chuckle more at like the absurdity of like things that you weren't expecting. You'll kind of just laugh at them now, and it almost like it kind of fills you with more joy. It's very strange. But anyway, I've rambled on for a long time, and I'm not sure if anybody's still watching this. But like I said, I don't typically do many videos that are not scripted or don't have an agenda, but I just thought that was particularly funny and probably a good thing to talk about today. All right, so don't let anything upset you. Just allow whatever is happening to happen. And, you know, if you can walk 100 yards down the road and find a nice, calm part of the stream, then that's fine. But if not, just learn to kind of enjoy what is actually happening right now. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.